Hello, and welcome to another lesson from Level Up Mathematics. In today's lesson, we will be solving multi-step inequalities in one variable. Before we do, let's review how to represent linear inequalities in one variable using a number line and using inequality notation. So let's start with problem A in example 1. You are given a verbal description and you're being asked to represent the verbal description with a graph and inequality notation. So in problem A, it wants us to represent the set of all real numbers that are less than 3. So the number here we are representing is all the numbers less than 3. So let's draw an open circle at 3, because in this problem they're not including the number 3, and we want all the numbers that are less than. So if we went to the right, like 4, that is greater than 3. So we want to go to the left, all the numbers less than 3. So to represent this in inequality notations, you can use the letter a variable x. You could use the variable n. It doesn't matter. I'll just use the letter x to represent the set of all real numbers. And for less than 3, I will use my less than symbol and then 3. All right. Problem B. The set of all real numbers that are less than or equal to -2. Now this time your number can be equal to -2. So -2 has to be included in your solution. So this time we'll use a filled in circle, and then you want to shade the numbers that are smaller than -2. So that would be the numbers all the numbers to the left are smaller than -2. So to represent this, I'll use x for the set of all real numbers that are less than or equal to. So this time I want to put an equal under my less than symbol, -2. All right, problem C, the set of all real numbers that are more than 0. So I'm going to put an open circle at 0. I don't like how that came out. Let me try that one more time. An open circle at 0, and I want to shade the numbers that are more than or bigger than 0. So that would be to the right. All right, and then in inequality notation, for the set of all real numbers, I'll use the variable x. For more than, I'll use greater than and 0. All right, pause the video and try problem D on your own. All right, welcome back. So you are representing the set of all real numbers that are greater than or equal to -1. So hopefully you put a filled in circle at -1, and then hopefully you shaded all the numbers that are bigger than -1 are going to be to the right. For your inequality notation, x is greater than or equal to -1. Now, when you're solving multi-step inequalities, you're going to use the same steps you use for solving equations. The only difference is when you multiply or divide by a negative, you must reverse the symbol. Let me say that again. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you must reverse the symbol. All right, so let's start with problem A. We're going to distribute the -8. So this would be -8x. -8 times -1 is +8 minus x less than or equal to -28. Now, before we can solve, we need to simplify this. So let's combine like terms here. -8x plus -x is -9x. Plus 8 is less than or equal to -28. Subtract the 8 to give us -9x. This term would zero out. -28 plus -8 is -36. And then divide by -9. Now, here's where you have to be careful. Let me put a star here. When you are dividing by a negative, you must reverse the symbol in your final answer. So x would be greater than or equal to Negative divided by negative is positive 4. So now we've represented our solution in inequality notation. They'd like you to also represent your solution as a number line. So because it's greater than or equal to 4, I'll put a filled in circle at 4, and then shade the numbers that are greater than 4. So that would be to the right. All right, problem B. We have 3 minus the quantity, 2x minus 7, is less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. You might want to put a negative 1 right here. But whatever you do, remember, you do not want to subtract the 3 minus the 1 because we always do the parentheses first. So drop the 3 down and distribute negative 1. So negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 7, positive 7, less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. Now, look for any like terms you have because you must combine those before you can solve it. So negative 2x, 3 plus 7 gives you 10, less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. All right, now I want to get all the variables on the left side of the equation. So I'll add 6x here to remove it and add 6x here. So this would be negative 2x plus 6x is 4x plus 10 is less than or equal to 34, and this term zeroes out. So now we have a two-step equation, so I will subtract 10. So 4x is less than or equal to 24, and divide by 4 to get x is less than or equal to 6. Now, I want you to think about why did I not reverse the symbol in that problem? All right, hopefully you said it's because I divided by a positive number. All right, when we divide by a positive, no need to reverse the symbol. All right, so to represent this on a number line, I'll put a filled in circle at 6 and shade all the numbers that are less than 6. All right, problem C. We have negative 3 times the quantity x plus 2, which would give us negative 3x minus 6 minus 3x is less than 2x plus 18. Now look for like terms that can be combined. So negative 3x plus negative 3x is negative 6x minus 6 is less than 2x plus 18. Now look on the right side. I do not want the 2x on the right side. I want it on the left side. So I'm going to subtract it to remove it. So negative 6x minus 2x would give me negative 8x minus 6 is less than, this term would zero out, 18. Add 6. So negative 8x is less than 24, and then divide by negative 8. All right, I want you to ask yourself, should I reverse the symbol? Hopefully you said yes, because we are dividing by a negative, so x would be greater than negative 3. So when I represent this on the number line, I want to open circle, and I want to shade the numbers that are greater than negative 3, which would be to the right. All right, pause the video and try problem D on your own. All right, welcome back. Hopefully in problem D, you did not begin the problem by subtracting 25 minus 4, because remember, we always do the parentheses first. So hopefully you dropped the 25 and then multiplied negative 4 times x to get negative 4 times x. Negative 4 times 6 gives me negative 24 is greater than or equal to, drop the 9, and then multiply everything in the parenthesis by 6. So 6 times negative x is negative 6x. 6 times 1 positive 6. Now, highlight the like terms that you're going to combine. On this side, I'll combine the 25 and the negative 24. And on the right side, I'll combine the 9 with the 6. So this would be negative 4x. 25 minus 24 is positive 1, greater than or equal to negative 6x plus 15. All right, add your 6x to get 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 15, because that's zeroed out. Subtract 1 to get 2x is greater than or equal to 14, and divide by 2. X is greater than or equal to 7. So filled in circle at 7, and then shade the numbers that are greater than 7. So that would be to the right. All right, pause the video if you got any of that incorrect so that you can fix any mistakes you made before you move on. All right, problem E. We have 3 times the quantity, 2x plus 2, divided by 2 is less than x plus 2. Now, remember, when we're solving an equation and there's a fraction involved, let's get rid of that fraction before we begin. Now, we can get rid of that fraction by multiplying both sides by 2. So I can multiply this side by 2 and this side by 2. So this 2 would cancel with this 2, leaving me 3 parentheses 2x plus 2. And this side would be 2 times the quantity x plus 2. All right, distribute. 6x plus 6 is less than 2x plus 4. Subtract 2x. So 4x plus 6 is less than 4. Subtract 6. So 4x is less than negative 2, and then divide by 4. Oh, be very careful here. A lot of people think negative 2 divided by 4 is 2, but negative 2 divided by 4 is negative 1/2. So I want to put an open circle at negative 1/2. So that would be right here. And then I want to shade all the numbers that are less than or smaller than negative 1/2, which would be to the left. And that concludes today's lesson, solving multi-step inequalities.